Hello there. Okay, so this is a new and exciting week on ChatGPT with the 4o version coming out with an image generator, and it has been really exciting thing to see how people are using this technology. And I have compiled a list of cool ideas that I think is very usable and suitable for practical applications across the industries. I think you'll enjoy the use cases I have compiled in this video. But first of all, let me tell you this: having an image generator that is not Midjourney like that you can talk to, that has a strong textual LLM point to it, it has been a real game changer for us, because now you can just chat with the ChatGPT and it will understand what you really want to create and what you don't want to create, and curate the creation of the image based on your preferences much better than what Midjourney ever could for the average user. Like, I'm pretty sure power user of Midjourney could still surpass ChatGPT's image generation, but we are not talking about power users here. We are talking about average users like you and me, right? So as an engineer, this update has been really interesting to me, because I suck at anything visual. Like, I can't do Photoshop. I barely can do Canva, and it has been a real challenge for me, in even mentally, to think about YouTube thumbnail creation. Like, that is not something I intuitively understand and grasp and create easily. So this video is really a fun one to make for me. Let's get on with the first example here. Okay, so this is art style. So art style thing has been an important point, because you want to replicate some kind of images you want to see, but you see, but you don't really know how to replicate them, right? You like some images that just don't have their name. Like, let's look at this. This is a PlayStation PS2 or PS1, I think. Yeah, this is a PS1. PS1 breakdown image. Like, what is the art style here? I don't know what to call it. It's like, this is another, like, this is a breakdown of a tank. Breakdown style, illustrative style. Like, this is a plane. You are breaking it down, like, and numbering it. Like, what is the art style name here? I don't know. What would you call, if you were using a Midjourney, for example? How would you describe this? I don't know. I'm not that good in graphical terms. Like, maybe there's a term for it. I don't know. And a simple Google search doesn't help me either. So this has been a real game changer, because the image generation updated. It meant that the visual capabilities of GPT-4o also upgraded as well. So we have a new way to show this, and it has been going around with the name of JSON profile. JSON is actually a software-related object naming, because JSON is how we pass around data in software applications, mainly web applications. And the JSON object has this fun. Let me show it on the example side here. JSON object works like this. So there is a title here, art style profile. Then there's a subtitle here, style name, and style name is technical blueprint cutaway. Okay, that's a name. Sure. Color palette: primary, secondary, highlight. Monochrome, minimal color usage, occasional warm or cool accents to draw attention to functional areas. Like, this means that the GPT can understand the primary color, secondary color, or highlights, and in the line work, for example, line work category, like these work like categories now, because JSON has this capability inside it, and GPT can understand code. Like, those two connect to each other in a really cool way that allows us to replicate art styles, and I'll show you an example just about now. But I would like to focus your attention on the example right now. So, structure is a category, right? Perspective, isometric or three-quarter exploded view. Like, how would I understand, like, isometric? I know isometric because I used to develop games, and isometric is a viewpoint associated with games. Okay, three-quarter exploded view, what does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me, but it does mean something to ChatGPT, and it understands it very well while it tries to recreate the image. So this is how you do it. You get some of the examples you want, you put it in the ChatGPT and say, create a JSON profile. This JSON profile should be an art style profile that extracts data from these pieces of art so that I can send the JSON to an AI. Like, I am giving my reasoning here so that AI understands that it is talking to an AI also. To give it immediate context on how to replicate such artwork in consistent style. Like, this is the important one, consistent style and replication. Okay. These are how image generations work. It shouldn't include specific art data, such as specific artwork or anything that is specific to each piece of artwork. This is important because you do not want to create a PS1 breakdown, or you do not want to create, what is this? Logistic shuttle. You do not want to create this logistic shuttle, right? You want to maybe create in this specific art style your own let's say supplement brand image. Okay, maybe you can. Sure. It should include the general art styles, the structure, or anything that will help AI replicate such artwork. We are just feeding the AI, like our reasoning. We will recreate this art style and you will help us do it. Negatives also work. Like, this is a good addition I like. Negatives also work. So you want also AI to know that it can write down negatives. What wouldn't be this art style is also helpful information. Let's see if it created, like, yes, negative style indicators. It created a negative style indicator category, not in style. Heavy stylization or paint, literally brushwork. Like, there is no brushwork, there is no paint. Okay. Cartoonish proportions. There is no cartoon. Those were all realistic proportions. Photorealism. There is no photorealism in the objects I have uploaded. That is true. High saturation colors, yeah, those were mainly like on paper drawing style. Sure. Emotional or narrative driven subjects, like there was no subjects emotionally driven, like these are all blueprint styles, you know. So this is a good vibe and intent. There's also vibe category. Interesting. So if you copy this like in this link, and I will just paste it here, like you see. Okay, this is a pasted object. I just said, can you utilize this art style to the description to generate me an image of a dragon? How will it do it? Okay, this is a dragon. Very informative style. Like, there's a 20, 10, 22, 24. Maybe you could put like a tailbone, wings. Okay, wing bone. Like, you see, you understand what this is supposed to mean, right? Okay, I'm like, wow, that's good. How about an ancient stronghold carved into a mountain? Because I wanted to see if the numbers will point to specific interest points in the image. Does it understand that context? And look at this, 1, 4, 5, 8. Like, it doesn't really point to anything interesting. Like, it doesn't inherently understand the numbers should indicate to important contextual elements. But you could say it's like, okay, can you create a city isometric view map-esque image in medieval times, high fantasy? I said those things, like I want to create an image for my D&D game, so maybe a D&D city is cool. Okay, numbers should point towards points of interest. This is the time I explicitly stated. So here's the image. Okay, we see 1. Maybe it's an outside trading spot. Okay, sure. 8, entrance of the city. Cool. 4, maybe it's a tavern here, or maybe it's a city center here. You can use this point for either side. There's a 3, windmill. Okay, 10, the bridge. Okay, there is a very contextually important fun stuff you can do with the points. And I could really use this in my D&D game. Like, I could say, this is the city, guys. This is a one-shot we are playing. There are like how many? 8 points of interest on this map you can visit. Like, this could be a game. It's a very cool thing to think about. But we could also say, okay, now create an image in this style for a supplement brand. We'll see how it turns out. I'm not really sure. I'll maybe cut this waiting point because it does take some little time. So we now have an easy way to visualize a product in this specific art style we wanted. This was the use case number one I wanted to talk about, and the second one was actually thumbnail creation, because it has been a pain point in my YouTube journey, or whatever journey you can call it. But here is that same actually art style JSON profile extraction prompt working with thumbnails. This is a random YouTube account I found. They have these style of thumbnails like ego, transform, take action. There is like, you can see it demonstrates a clear profile. There are always 3 images. There is a text in the somewhere, mostly middle, but sometimes above, like transform, locked in. But there are always 3 images, and there is a clear line of separation between them. And there is a dark element to it, like it's almost always on the darker side. It's not a colorful thumbnail. Okay, it's an art profile, sure. We run the same prompt. This is like almost same prompt. Just the negative part is missing here. I didn't include a negative. So it's the style profile, color plate, the dominantly monochrome or muted tones. Yeah, very easily seeable. Okay, text position centered across the full image. So it got the text should be centered. There is vibe, themes of self-improvement, discipline, focus, yeah, this is a discipline, focus, ambition, masculine energy kind of thumbnail. You can very easily see. Sure, okay. So I gave my image. Okay, I'm not really model looking there. Sure. Then this AI looking image. There's a robot here and looking at the world. Maybe it's trying to take over the world. So I wrote, this is the same style above, just pasted. Use this style to create a thumbnail using these images and write AI takeover on the image. Notice that I have given 2 images, but this style consists of 3 images. So what does the ChatGPT do? It creates the second image into 2 images. Here you go. The world and robot is separated, and they are actually separated in the wrong direction. Like, you can think that because the world is on the left side, it would put the world in the middle. No, it actually looks at this and says, okay, this is an earth, this is a robot, and this is the person. So these are 3 objects, and I'll make them separately here. It recreates it. This does look like me, right? Yeah, but I think it captures the essence pretty well. The robot is robot, okay. The world is world, okay. There is a very clear discipline under tones, and this is a very dark topic, and there is no colors here, okay. And it writes AI takeover like I asked it to. Okay, so this is a thumbnail actually. Maybe if I create an outlandish news kind of video, this is a thumbnail I can use. Okay, I like this. And then I went ahead and found this prompt actually. This prompt is something specific because of how the ChatGPT generates these horizontal images. They actually do not fit YouTube perf 1:1. They are not perfect. You need 16:9 aspect ratio. Okay, this is the 16:9 aspect ratio, but this is the important point. Black TV bars on top and bottom. Make sure they are stay in the position and are not change at all. Make bars 62 pixel tall to get an exact fit. This is the, like you can see, this is the appropriate YouTube thumbnail size. As far as I've seen on the Twitter, and I wanted to create this into the thumbnail style. Okay, so I ran this in the wrong model, and it couldn't create an image. Sure, whatever. So I then tried it again in the right model, this time 4o. Remember to create it in 4o. You can change the model here if you want. Okay, so image is created. I'm like, okay, what is this? So it gave me the black bars. Okay, that's cool, but I am half missing. Even the world is half missing. What the fuck? I asked, this is the fun part, and you cannot create this in Midjourney in this way. Maybe you can in some other way, but This is why I like ChatGPT to create these images, and I can talk to it like I am talking with a real person, and it understands what I want to accomplish. Pull the camera further back. There is no camera here, it is just imagining things. But pull the camera further back means that it should look wider. It should adopt a wider looking stance. I'd like to see the face and earth fully. Follow the previous directives about black bars as well. Okay, so that's just a reminder prompt. But it just pulls the camera further back. So we see the whole image. Like from this to this by only saying pull the camera further back. It's actually amazing how well developed these text engines combination of image generation thingy. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but they work well with each other. They complement each other very well. Like, I have tried to create images in Midjourney and I wasn't as successful as these examples here. I couldn't get this effect, like I couldn't look from a wider stance on the same image as well as this. It actually disturbed me. Like, it destroyed me. Like, who is this guy? I'm not really sure. That guy looks mean. But maybe if I had fed the original image, maybe even the original image here to this prompt, it would capture the essence of my face much clearly. I am trying to recreate an image based off of a creation, like it's a Xerox of a Xerox. Bad, okay. We know how that wouldn't work. And so, that's another use case, YouTube thumbnail creation in the exact fit. That's good. Maybe even I could, not even maybe, I'm pretty sure I will use a AI generated thumbnail on this video. So if you have seen, if you have clicked on this video, know that the thumbnail was created by the ChatGPT-4o in the exact same style I have told you about. I'm probably gonna look around and find an art style I want to replicate and do this step, and do this step again, and do this step again. I'll do these 3 steps to get my thumbnail for this video, to be sure. Okay, so there's this next one. I just want to refresh this page so I am sure we can click on these photos. Okay, so I went ahead and find an Adidas ads page blog, maybe a blog that compiled Adidas ads, and I wanted to create this image. I wanted to recreate this thumbnail-esque image with these 2 images, but in the Adidas style. I just wanted to know what Adidas ad style would feel like. Like, you can see some example images here. There's a very angry guy, and the AI will take notice of that. And there's a shoe. Like, I'm not sure how is that, how it's gonna fit in all this. I'm not sure. Get explosive. Okay, there's an action here. There's always an action here. And I'm trying to create a very static image. So we'll see how that will turn out. Adidas supports ad style. Okay, heroic, intense, cinematic. These are very different style prompts than our previous generation. Motivational, powerful, aspirational. Okay, high, explosive motion. Wow. High contrast, deep shadows, vibrant spot colors, theme colors. Okay, you get the idea. This is a really different style prompt than our previous generation, but I'm gonna give it the same images that I have given the previous one. Okay, so the previous one generated me this image, and this one creates what image? Boom, this image. Very different, like wildly different. Look at this. This is in the style we want to replicate, and this is in the style we want to replicate, but I'm not quite sure how the hose connect. Like, I'm not in a shoe ad, like I'm not wearing any sportswear. This is just me and a robot, but it understands there should be vibrant colors and clashing, and there should be a versus kind of deal here. And I am the red side, the robot is on the blue side. Out of this is a very interesting take on the image I wanted to create. But it's good to showcase how differently these can work, and I'm pretty sure if you have your own ads like these and you wanted to create your new ads with a simple image like this and this, it would work now. it would work. With ChatGPT-4o, it can work. So the last one is a very simple use case, but I wanted to mention it here because of how simply effective it is. I have my profile image here. You've seen this image probably. I like this image. I wanted to say, can you create a JSON filter profile based off this image? JSON filter profile. This is the important type. There is a mention of filter going on. Why am I mentioning a filter? Because I want to recreate images in this style, but I just want a simple filter. Okay, so it tries to capture the essence of this. Golden, full, multiple must, wooden hull, wave intensity high, color palette. Okay, there is a color palette. Sky, condition dramatic, mood, epic, heroic, adventurous. It is trying to capture everything in this image in a simple JSON profile. Then I gave it a cruise ship. Why not? Maybe I changed my image to a cruise ship. Can you apply this JSON filter? And it created the JSON profile of that image. Like, no ChatGPT, no. I meant to apply our first JSON filter to the second image to recreate it with the filter. Boom, it applied. It's a very simple way to showcase how these filters are effective, because this image turning to this image is not an easy thing to describe. Like, the water is in the same color, the sky is in the same condition, and the ship has this gold vibe to it, and that is not that easy to accomplish. Believe me, I tried. I created this image in a lot of attempts. Okay, so. And then I gave it the improved version, or new version, I guess. This is a new image I created in the same style. And create that in the AG1 supplement brand. Okay, apply this JSON filter. And boom, it creates the same image, like even the text stays on. Mostly, okay. But it recreates in the filter that I have established, and it even like poured some of the the powder off, maybe because it's the wind condition. Like you can guess how these filters could work in the grand scheme of things, and how you could recreate a brand's filter identity in your own brand, and how you could basically experiment, brainstorm, and visually understand a lot of different elements in seconds. Maybe not in seconds, in minutes. Like the 4o does take its time creating the images, but OpenAI is saying their GPUs are melting, and I believe them. This is a very good addition, and that's why maybe they're taking a bit longer to create the images, but with the quality of results we are getting, I'm actually surprised. I'm not, to be honest, surprised. And there is the last use case I want to mention. This is also a thumbnail one. Here, just take a look at this. This is Alex Hormozy, you know him. This is me, same image, okay. Create a realistic face swap and body swap where my face and body replaces the face and body of the thumbnail image. Basic prompting here. Maintain all original facial expression, head position, angle. Apply filter effects, stylistic treatments, original thumbnail. Okay, you should of course do that. Ensure transition between my face and the original image is natural with no obvious scenes or inconsistencies in lighting or coloration. This is just trying your best, but ChatGPT doesn't guarantee this kind of effects, of course. It's tried to recreate, like, Alex is significantly larger than me. In muscle mass, in age, like, sure, like, I shouldn't look like that man, of course. But here's me in his body. Okay, this is good. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is a good way to face swap. And I did the same aspect ratio, black bars thing again. Okay, and I'm like, cut off, pull the camera a bit further back. Again, same tricks. Like, these tricks are simple but effective. Boom, the camera pulled back. Nobody cares, work harder. The image fully exposes the text. I am in the image. You can use this, like, download this, and boom, this is the thumbnail for me now. So, this is what I wanted to talk about today. GPT-4o is impressively good in image generation, and it is, dare I say, a lifesaver for engineers or logical minded people like I am that can imagine great styles and images, but lack the skills or capabilities or even willingness to learn the tools to create these said images. Maybe they are the most basic images of all time. I wouldn't know. I'm not skilled or even interested in the creation of these thumbnails. But I am interested in how to prompt, and I am interested in how to get ChatGPT to create these images for me. So instead of learning Photoshop for 2 days, I will argue with ChatGPT for 3 days and create this image for a thumbnail. Because that's just the way I am. And if you are that way as well, just follow along my journey, subscribe, comment down below your questions, maybe a use case you want to see, and I will regularly create videos from now on, and I will update you guys on a lot more use case opportunities I see on the internet. I am trying to comb through them and find some good use cases I could demonstrate here. If you are interested in ChatGPT or AI usage in general, how to utilize these things in your business, in your personal life, maybe you are a freelancer in your freelance business, maybe you are an online business owner and you have a supplement brand and you want to learn how to recreate these good images in your ad campaign, you want to use these in your ads, okay, sure. There's a lot of options to explore here. If you want to learn those kind of things, just subscribe and follow along. I will talk about these consistently in the future. I have not been creating videos for a while now, but I'm back. We are good. There will be a lot of new videos, so stay tuned. Goodbye.